Well, hello everybody, and welcome to episode 103 of the Game Changers. I'm your host Carla, and tonight I'm turning up the heat with the brilliant Jamie Rachal. Jamie doesn't just know the game, he reads the plays before they happen. And we're about to pull back the curtain on the game behind the game. Big love for the TSA team for fueling this mission of amplifying voices and sparking ideas. This show exists because of visionaries like them and listeners like you. If you want fantasy football gold, perspective shifting stories, or a fresh way to see the world, you are in the right place. The Game Changers isn't just a podcast, it's a movement. Let's get into it. Who is my game changer guest for tonight? Jamie Rachal. Please welcome Jamie Rachal. He has been drawing since he was 3 and turned that lifelong passion into a career as a graphic designer and illustrator. He illustrated the children's book, The Story of Alonzo Hurton, and hashtag HBCU Love, and created all the artwork for the comic Bridges. Raised in 1970s Oakland, Jamie grew up spending Sundays in the Coliseum with his dad, steeped in Raiders culture, and even went to school with Art Shell's kids. Though his mom wouldn't let him play, his love of football only grew. He discovered fantasy football in 2000 and never looked back. In 2023, Jamie fused those two passions into Just Balling with Jay, a weekly series of cartoon style NFL art that brings fantasy football to life. Tonight, he will share how sports and storytelling collide in his work, the creative choices behind his characters, and how illustration can change the way we see the game. Give a warm welcome to Jamie Rachal, everybody. Hi, Jamie. How are you tonight?
Hi, Carla. Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Thank you for being here. So, I couldn't wait to have you on the show. You are going to be my last show before Christmas and New Year's Eve, and I'm so honored to have you here tonight. I'm being nice. I'm being nice right now. Maybe at some point I'll go naughty. I don't know, Jamie. We will see how it's going to be.
Sure.
So, cheers, Daniel. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you, Greg. So, everybody is here to cheer out for you, Jamie. So, let's start with how did it go at the expo? So, we've met at the expo for the first time, and I was so surprised and happy that you are mixing art and fantasy football. Tell me a little bit about that because not everybody knows your story.
Yeah. So, do you want me to talk about the art and football, or do you want me to talk about the expo first?
Whatever you want, we can
All right.
talk about. It's
Well,
your show tonight.
all right. Well, it was really amazing experience to go to the expo and to meet you and so many I heard the stories before I got there about how awesome everybody is and how close knit the community was. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it. But when I got there, I was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." It was really inspiring because I really, I've been doing this is my third season, third NFL season of doing Just Balling with Jay. So the idea was to just bring together two loves: my love for drawing and my love for football, which the idea works great, but what it actually is a little confusing. Or at least has been. It's been a challenge, I would say, to figure out, how I share that with the world. So it was just really nice to finally go to an event where so many people were so knowledgeable and so deep into fantasy football. It was like heaven. It was like football heaven. It just totally inspired me to continue pushing, and that's what I've been doing, just taking that inspiration and trying to figure out what Just Balling with Jay really is and how to share it with everybody.
That's amazing. I love this story. It was such an honor to meet up with you. I mean, Greg does a great job, like letting people know about everybody that comes for the first time at the expo. And he did a great job, letting you meet up with everyone around him. And I'm wearing this one tonight because of him. He's like, every time I do the show, I'm wearing my ring. So here we go, Greg. I'm wearing my ring too.
That's
And
awesome.
to his beautiful wife, Janie, thank you for watching us tonight, even though that you're not feeling well. We hope that you feel well, my friend. We love you so much. You need to know that. So I'm gonna be a little bit naughty right now, and I'm gonna.
Oh, it flips.
Oh yes,
Oh, okay.
yes. So I'm gonna be naughty and ask you, what's the earliest drawing you remember making, and why does it stick with you?
I'm sorry. What's the first drawing?
The earliest drawing that you remember,
Yep.
and
So
why does it stick with you?
it's an easy one. So it's not naughty. It's maybe a little sentimental. My mom, well, I didn't know at the time, but she wasn't able to have children. So
Oh,
um, I was adopted, and my younger sister was adopted, and then my brother, they actually finally, had a baby. So my first drawing, it was actually a painting. I remember I did a painting of my brother in my mom's stomach, and
oh
I have
wow.
no idea how I remember that, but I do, and I partially because my mom was such a big supporter of my art from day one. But um, rest in peace, mommy. Love you.
Oh,
Yeah.
may
So
she
that,
rest
that
in
was
peace.
that was
Oh
my
my
first. That
God,
was my first.
Jamie. That's an amazing story. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh my God, I have goosebumps. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing this story. See, like a lot of people don't know what's our background is. And this is so important to tell people the background that we are living and why we are here today. So, which childhood cartoon or comic influenced your style the most?
Oh man, yeah. Definitely was influenced by the 80s. Well, in the 70s too. I mean, as a little person, I of course love Scooby Doo and all those things, Looney Tunes in the
Yes.
70s. But the 80s really, really got me going with GI Joe and Transformers, and then comic books like Spider Man. I was really into this particular artist called Todd McFarlane. He came around and started doing Spider Man. So yeah, I was heavily influenced by 80s cartoons and comic book art, and that's what I used to do. I used to make my own characters. Always wanted to make a comic, didn't make one until I was much, much older in life. Um, but yeah, I was heavily influenced by 80s cartoons for sure.
I think we share the same age at this point. Don't tell anybody.
Okay, I was
I love that. What's one non-art skill you picked up growing up in Oakland that still helps you for today?
Oh, that's a good question. Man, there's a lot. I think there's a few. Of course, sports in general.
Of course, yes.
Um, Sports really shaped kind of who I was in my young years. I always saw myself as a superstar professional athlete one day in
Yeah.
life. That didn't quite pan out, but playing basketball, especially the school that I went to, like basketball was really big. Um, and we played every day, twice a day at recess. We had some pretty cool competition. I don't know if you know who Jason Kidd is, but he was a year ahead of us, and we
Yeah.
used to we used to play on the playground, and they used to beat the crap out of us on a on a daily basis. Um, but yeah, but just competing, never quite making it to the highest level, but definitely playing against the highest level of competition. That kind of puts you in a mindset to where it gives you a certain level of confidence to know, there's really no stage that's too big, even if I have no clue, uh,
Yes.
even if I can't do what those people are doing. I can be on the same stage with them and be good to go.
I love that. I love it so much. If you could bring one memory from your childhood Raiders Sundays to life as an illustration, which moment would you choose?
Oh, um, it would definitely be Bo Jackson.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Why?
absolutely. He's just special. He was just special, and he stands out as being, an individual in football who, in my eyes, there was just no equal, and it was also quite sad. And if you just remember, well, I remember specifically when he got hurt. I was watching the game, and of course, not knowing at the time that would be the end of his career. But
Yeah.
I haven't done any old school football players yet, but he will be like once I do start doing old school, he'll be the first. Bo Knows was just like that was really, really awesome for that time period. And I really wish he could have had a longer career.
That's crazy. What was the first piece of art you sold or felt proud to show the world?
Okay. Um I remember a funny story. I remember in college, I never took an art class until I got to college.
Nice. Yeah.
I drew my whole entire life. I wish I had taken classes when I was in high school because I had the opportunity to. But I took my first classes. I actually majored in fine arts, and my school wasn't. It wasn't like a really famous art school, but we had art programs anyway. And my art started to grow, and I started doing some new stuff. It was all NBA art at that time.
Yes.
And we were going around doing some shows, and we had our department had given some of our work to another school for a show, and one of my pieces was stolen out of their gallery.
What?
Yeah, so they called us up and they're like, "Oh, we're very sorry. Somebody stole your art out of, and we're gonna pay you for it."
Yes.
So I was like, "Oh, okay." I gave them a number. I can't remember what it was. It was like $400 or something. But that was kind of exciting. That was like that was my first art sale. That was my
It's
first.
like 6'7", isn't it? Like yes and no.
What is 6'7"? What is 6'7"? Explain it. No. Okay.
Oh my God, it's you should know it because it's like a basketball NBA, and someone was talking about how tall he is. I don't remember the name of the player, and he said 6'7",
Yeah.
6, 7 feet something.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now the kids are like taking it on, and they're 6'7", and they have a song about it.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's not that much in Connecticut, but it's somewhere else, and they're trying to not let the kids live. It's no big deal. So it's
Yes.
like yes and no.
Yes. So
So
first piece
it's
of art sold was stolen. There you go.
oh my God, I can't believe that. I can't believe it happened. I mean, it was okay, but at the same time, it was like oh my God. I wish
Hey,
I
it was
know
good art.
who took it.
It was good art. They wanted, hey, it was good enough to steal. So that kind of made me feel good.
Oh my God. Um, so Jamie, a lot of people don't know that you are an artist. How do you describe your artistic voice to someone who's never seen your work?
Hmm. Uh, I would say, I mean, drawing is just kind of a part of who I am. It's
Daniel.
what do you say? Um, it's a part of who I am. I love
Yes.
doing it. It's evolved over my lifetime. Social media has evolved my art in some
Yes.
really cool ways. Just getting in contact with and seeing what other amazing people are doing out there has really kind of grown my art. but I love drawing women. I love drawing sports. I love drawing comic books. Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready. Um, yeah, that's just me. I just I don't. It's hard to explain. It's part of who I am, and I love doing it.
You're one of a kind. That's what we're gonna say. We're
Thank
one of a kind. That's
thank
your
you.
artistic voice. What's a small ritual you do before starting a drawing session?
Um, waste hours and hours agonizing before um, wasting a lot of time. No, I don't have a particular ritual. If I would say probably just snacking out. I have to have a snack
Yes,
before I do anything. Like even when I'm working, like when it's
that's
time to
good.
work, play a little game first,
Yeah,
then go get a snack, and then turn some music on, then we're ready.
I love that. I love that. Do you want to tell people what happened after you came back from the expo?
Oh man, yes. So like I said, I was so inspired at the expo. I was ready. And actually the one thing I was inspired about was seeing people actually in front of the camera. And
Yes.
so that was like what I was ready to do. I was ready to take my videos from being from, off the camera and just showing my art to combining myself into the videos. And so that was my whole plan. But as soon as I got home, I played kickball and broke my drawing hand. I'm a complete break of a bone. So I couldn't draw for a month and a half. And all of that inspiration was just like, just bottled up. But it's okay. We worked around it. It's okay.
Now the game changers is gonna inspire you more.
Yes.
So
It's
just say
healed
it.
up and we're good to go. We're good to go.
Yes, let's go. So I do believe Greg is asking you what kind of snack he wants to know.
It depends if I want something sweet, it's well, right now it shifts, but right now it's
Yes.
Snickers and Reese's.
Oh,
Sometimes I'll eat my girlfriend's gummy bears. Sometimes, depending on how I feel. I'm not usually a candy, like regular candy person. Um, if it's or chips, barbecue chips, and cereal. Cereal.
yeah.
Those are my favorite go-to snacks. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. I love that. Jamie, what's one thing people are surprised to learn about you outside of art and football?
Okay. Surprised. Uh, that's a hard one. What are people surprised about? I guess some people are surprised that I have grown kids.
I
They're like,
was
what?
surprised when you told me about your child. Do you have an 18-year-old? How many kids do you have?
I have two. I have a 21-year-old and a 18-year-old.
So we're almost kind of like the same. I do have a 22-year-old, I
Yeah.
have a 20-year-old, and a 17-year-old.
Oh,
So
wow. Boys?
I have two boys, and my girl is a middle child.
Nice. Yeah, I have two boys.
Yes, I have two boys, two crazy boys, and one girl. How many drinks are we
Oh,
going to
Jorge.
have together at the expo next year?
What's up, Jorge? I can't I can't compete with you, man. I'm not even a serious drinker. I will have some drinks, but I cannot compete. I will be able to function, be on the ground.
He will be drawing on the opposite way, Jorge.
I'm gonna have some drinks though. Believe that.
Oh my god, I love that. Mountain Dew make it make you a god. I love those comments, you guys. Keep them coming, keep them coming. These are like amazing. I love that. So let's talk a little bit about your career and professional work. How did you transition from graphic design into illustrating children's book and comics?
Yeah. So like we said, I've drawn all my whole entire life, but
Yeah.
I had never taken on art projects, professionally. So what happened? I was a graphic designer. I worked for a sign company. Well, I was a graphic designer for 21 years, from 2000 to, oh no, to 20. So I was a graphic designer for 20 years. And I had worked for the same company for 17, and then I had moved to a new company, which was great because it was, more money. It was a higher, more intense job. But what happened is that company got bought, and the new people who bought the company decided that they didn't like me. So
Oh,
so they fired me. And this was right before 2020. This was in August 19. So at that point, I had worked, well, for a long time. I had done graphic design also for myself. I had my own business, and I had done it on the side. So when they fired me, I was like, okay, fine. Let's do this full time for yourself, because I had never done that before. And that was going great. But then COVID hit,
yeah.
and all of my clients were all airport concessions companies, and they were wasted. And so there went all of my clients. And so um, at that time, I was, well, I worked on them for myself, but I have a business, but I'm not a businessman. So I wasn't about
Yes.
to go out and find new clients. I just didn't want to do that. So there were fortunately some things in place to, like, at that time, to like help out with, my mortgage. So I was like, let's just take a chance, and let's just take on some art jobs, and just see where it goes. And so that was my first time just taking on some real art projects. I took on some really cool book projects where I did the hashtag HBCU love book. That was
Yes.
a really awesome project. And I did a really big comic book project, Bridges, which is an awesome story that I helped create. I did all of the art for it. That was really awesome. It took so many years, and I learned so much about myself. I grew in that period of time, but I learned so much about myself as an artist. And what I
When
learned is I don't like doing books.
no,
No, no, I'm too
I
slow.
mean when a door closes, another open, but you didn't like that.
I did not like it. Not at all.
Wow.
It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. And it stretched me, and I grew, but
Yeah.
I knew that I was like, no. That helped me realize also that I didn't want to do art for people, because
Yeah.
as an artist, when you're always taking on jobs from other people, like, you're not getting anything from it. It's like
True.
you get the paycheck, but then that's it. It's gone. You can say, "Oh
You
yeah,
want
that's
something
mine."
you love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
So that was a big part of the catalyst for me to figure out, no, I want to do this for myself. Like, what do I want to do? And it took me a long time to
Oh,
figure that out. And when Just Ballin' hit me, it was like boom. It was like, it didn't come right away. It took deep introspection, but um that's
you
that
found
that
your
was
niche. Yeah.
Yep.
That's amazing. I love it. I love this story because you need to go through a lot of losses or whatever so you can find where you're at and how you can move forward. That's just an amazing story. Jamie, Jorge is asking, what's your favorite super hero to draw? I do believe I know because of what you said in the 80s, but let's hear it from you.
Yeah, it absolutely was Spider-Man. For a
That's what
period
I was
for
thinking.
Yeah, for a window there, when Todd McFarlane hit Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, it was absolutely no question Spider-Man. But I also loved the X-Men and Wolverine.
Yes, I
Uh,
love them too.
yeah, so 80s, 90s, you had the Batman movies. So for a little while, it was definitely Batman. He was like, that was the one. But Wolverine for a little while. And
Yeah.
then I eventually just started kind of evolving into, creating my own characters. The Image comic books. Oh, that was big. That was big. I loved Pitt and what was it, the Wildcats and Cyberforce, and those were really cool too.
Cindy is saying that Wolverine is her favorite. I love Wolverine as well. That's just an amazing thing. So, what was the biggest challenge when illustrating the story of Alonzo Hernan?
Well, Alonzo Herndon was a really awesome project. A guy
Okay.
who I went to high school with, played basketball with. His name is Adam Herndon, and so he's related to the Herndon family, which is
Brilliant.
Alonzo Herndon was like a really important guy during civil rights because he had his own life insurance company at a time when there just were no life insurance companies for Black people, and so he was like a really integral person in Atlanta and in the civil rights movement. It was just a really awesome story. It was my first book that I had ever done. I had never done anything like it. I really hadn't even drawn on the computer before. So I was like, I was learning so much when I was doing it. And it was really challenging, but really rewarding too. It's just something that I'm super proud of.
Are you still selling these books, Jamie?
Yeah, you can get that one on Amazon. Um, oh, I should have shared the links with you. I'll,
So if
I'll
you
send
can
you.
send them to me when I reshare the live, because this is staying on YouTube, I can share the links so people at least can see the books if they wanna buy them as well. That's amazing. That's amazing to know. Walk us through the moment you knew Bridges was going to be a full comic project.
Um, my friend, another friend, another friend
Yes.
from elementary school, Leo Stevens. It was his idea. He wanted to do a story, a comic book story, and he wanted his daughter to be the main character. And he wanted to create a story about um, four Black teenage girls with superpowers. And
Nice.
so, and that was it. That was the idea. And he was like, Jay, we got to, and he knew that like we used to draw together back in the second grade. And he always loved my art. He was one of those people who, always really supportive and, hyped me up. So we stayed in contact. But he was like, yeah, I want to do this. And so I was like, okay, cool, cool. And at that time I had hooked up out here with a guy named Greg Burnham, who's a really great comic book writer. And so I was like, we need to, hit up Greg and see if he wants to do this. And he did. And so, just bringing all that together, it was, I don't know, it became special really fast. Like I had never worked on a project with Greg, but
Yes.
because I had spent my whole entire life wanting to do a comic book, um, and Greg had so much experience, it wasn't so much that Greg was like, hey, this is what we're doing. It was like he would come to me and he'd be like, hey, we need to do, something like this, XYZ. I was like, got you. And so like I would go back and I create, names and backgrounds and ideas for the story. And I come back and would be like, here you go. But so real fast, thanks to Greg's guidance and my energy and passion and Leo's passion for it. I said a lot there, but it is a really cool project.
That's amazing. Now, with all of the stuff that you're doing, how can you handle creative burnout when deadlines are tight?
Yeah. Um, I would say that's something that has changed over the years as well. Um, I've probably been searching for my artistic voice for about 20 years now. Um, not quite having any idea. So in the beginnings of that, I think it's easier to get burnt out. Um,
True.
and now I guess it's not quite as hard. And I think I'm still protected by the fact that this isn't my regular job. Um, my regular job, I have a full-time client, um, Impact Church, and they're awesome. I love working for them. But I because I love watching football, I love fantasy football so much. It truly, I don't know. I haven't burnt out yet.
Yeah.
I could see it. I could see how it could happen, but I haven't burnt out yet. Hopefully, sometime in the next few years, this will be a full time endeavor, and then I'll be like, please help me. Like I don't, I don't know.
I hope you will never be burned out. I will. I hope not. I hope not.
It's okay. It is a part. It is a part of the deal. It is a part of the deal.
I agree. I agree. It is part of the deal. Um, Tell me a little bit. How do you approach character design for children's book versus a comic book?
Um, well, I gotta first say I've only done a few of these projects, so
Yes.
um, I'm not deeply experienced in this, but for children's books, and Bridges was a project where we wanted it to be for everybody, for all
Yes.
age ranges. It wasn't that kind of deal where we were going to be like cutting people's heads off and exploding things, but um, it's all about your target audience. That's where you're trying to figure out who am I trying to reach, how am I trying to reach them, how do I want them to feel, what do I want them to see, and you just kind of build around that. I guess is the best way for me to answer that question.
What's one storytelling technique you learned from comics that you now use in other formats?
Oh, yeah. If I was doing if I was doing it right, I would really focus. I guess I'll answer it this way. Um, when you do focus on the story, I think you end up with a better product because when you tell good stories, it's just, it just sucks people in. It takes you there. It's a focus. You're trying to get to a certain spot and you have to go through this to get to there. And it makes so much sense. I think that I need to probably pull more storytelling into what I'm doing because sometimes it can be a little disjointed trying to combine the art with what's happening in the real fantasy football world. So
Yes,
I think that's something that I'm actually trying to work towards getting better at probably.
I love that. So, Greg is asking why you never contacted him for fantasy advice. And then he's like, I'm joking.
Greg, man,
I love Greg.
you mentioned it for a quick second, but Greg, I just want to say thank you. I really from the bottom of my heart, man. What you did for me those few days, that was just really awesome. Like you had no idea who I was, but you treated me like absolute family, and that was just, man, it was so awesome. Thank you. I just want to say thank you.
And he's a Hall of Famer. You would think that he would not talk to anybody, but he's a very welcoming, very down to earth person. And we're not saying that to just say it because that's the person he is. And he's the one who put me here, who like let me start my first pod. And this is me after 2 years. So I'm very thankful to Greg as well. And to meet up like people with like you, very smart and very into what you do. It's such an honor for me. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, so let's talk a little bit about the football roots and Raiders influences. What's a vivid memory from a Raiders game that still inspires your art?
Oh, I don't know if it inspires my art, but I absolutely remember the guy who dressed up like Darth Vader at every game, and
You kidding?
he had the Darth Vader helmet, he had the
Yes.
sword and shield and everything. I vividly remember that guy from the games. That's probably from actually being at the games. That's the first thing that pops out.
Oh my God. I love that. Was that the beginning of the movies when he started going to the games? Like for these movies, was that the beginning or no? It's not. It
Well,
wasn't.
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on this. I'm pretty sure Star Wars did come out. What? like around the time I was born, like 74-ish.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Doug would know that, man. He's like, oh my God. Yeah.
I have to look that up
Yeah.
because
I don't know. I have to look that up too. But if he was here, he would have to telling us. How did growing up in the 70s, Oakland shape your relationship with sports culture?
um well, in the 70s, that was my really young days. So it was more watching, on TV. Like, and in the beginning for me, it was football. I didn't care about basketball. I did not care about basketball until the second grade when they announced that we were having basketball tryouts. And for some reason, I was ready. I was ready to play basketball and play for the rest of my life. But before that, in the 70s, it was all about watching football on TV, watching NFL films, the music for the Raiders, the autumn wind, and running around the house in slow motion, doing spin moves and jumping over the couch. I knew I was going to play football and be a receiver, but my
I
mom
love
was
it.
not having it. But that's definitely a part of who I am. It's deeply ingrained in me. But it's just watching on TV. I didn't play until the 80s.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I was the same. I didn't want my kids to play football. It was scary for me. I didn't know about too much about the game, but I knew that they're gonna do a lot of like head injuries. And I'm like, you can stay away from that. I don't want that.
It's
So,
dangerous.
who was your first football hero and how did they influence your fandom?
First football hero. If we're not going to talk about Bo Jackson, gosh, you said football, right?
Yes. You can talk about basketball if you want to. I'm fine with that.
It's hard. I'm thinking of so many different people. If we're just going to go any sport, I would definitely say
Yes.
Michael Jordan. I would
Yeah, Michael
definitely say
Jordan.
Michael.
Oh my God. Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. I agree with you 100%. I
Yes.
agree with you. So I just want to share a couple of stuff that Greg is saying. So he is asking you to do a first the word need a comic book series about a fantasy league and a member who goes to the expo, which I believe it's you. And then he said he's trying to get Jamie to draw him and make him look a buff superhero. So
Nice.
that's your next character, Jamie.
That's my next job. That's my next job. It's far down the list, but I'm gonna put that on the list.
Yes, baby. I love that. I just love this a lot. What's one thing about Raiders culture that you try to capture in your illustration?
Um, I don't necessarily think about it in my art, but
Yes.
one, and now it's just a memory because obviously the Raiders are gone from Oakland, but it really was. Maybe not up there with like Green Bay. Those people actually that's all they
Oh,
have is football, but literally like people would go out before like a week before the games and they would camp along the street that leads up to the Coliseum. And Raiders fans are like serious fans. It's like an actual lifestyle. And I'll never forget that. You never forget the black hole and just how cool it was to be a Raider, even when team wasn't necessarily that good. We've had our moments for sure. There's been a lot
yes,
of down times too, and that's part of why I love fantasy football so much because I get to
I
have
do. I
my
know.
own team. But that's those are the things that I remember, and now that it's not the same anymore, but we still got the same love for the team. But those were
I
those were
agree.
special moments.
How do you translate the energy of a live game into a static image?
A lot of training. Training. That's a part of, your style
Yes.
and your technique. It's something that I'm actively trying to grow, and um, I'm trying to think of when I started. A few years ago, when I started taking on professional jobs, one of the things that I started doing was going to like really good teachers.
Yes.
And I was like, I'm a slow artist. I am. And that's why books are so difficult for me, because you really have to crank on those things to finish all those pages. But that's just not really how my brain works. It's not it's not how I function. I'm more of a slow, methodical, distracted person, which is totally okay. But you do have to have a certain amount of speed to be able to do art as a professional and make money off of it. So I started training with some serious art teachers. Um, and that's one of the things that they try to teach you is how to feel motion through your strokes, through your color, your shade,
Yes.
you feel energy, and you learn how strokes move into other strokes and affect them and push them and pull them. It's I guess it's difficult to explain, but it's something that definitely is important when you want to do action art. So it's something that I'm working on. Hopefully it's in there, but
You're talking to an artist, so
yeah.
just saying. So I did start when I went to college. I did take graphic design. I didn't continue with graphic design, and I went into linguistics. But I did. I was drawing. I know what you are going through. It's a lot. It's a lot of work, a lot of shadings, a lot of different colors you can use. So I know how much it's gonna take to be there. But step by step and baby steps, Jamie. I think your art is amazing. It's well done. I see it on Instagram. It's just beautiful. So, people are asking if you want to share. Do you have anything that you can share on camera today? I know that we didn't prepare because I never share anyone's art, but do you have something that you would like to share tonight on the Game Changers? Do you have some art?
Yeah, I can share some art. Let me pull some things up. Um,
I do believe you can, if you click share with StreamYard, you can share it with us as well on
okay.
here. That would be really cool. So here you go, Greg and Janie. Janie will do anything for you. Anything for you. Just ask. So while you are trying to pull that up, I want to just ask, did you watch the last game for the Chiefs?
I did not. No.
So we were talking about how you catch, the art, like how do you illustrate it like live game into a static image. I would love to see how can you like take what happened to Mahomes with his injury and illustrate it into your work. I would love to see that because this is something that my heart is not happy, but I mean he got injured. And do you try to illustrate any injuries, or you just try to illustrate more of grabbing of the ball or something that a touchdown or something like that? How's your art working?
Yeah, I do try to catch certain moments. Sometimes it's just something fun. It's not
Yes.
necessarily some super amazing play, but oftentimes it is. I would never, well, I'm not saying never draw an injury. Matter of fact, the video that just came out, I did a Jamar Chase, and I talked about Joe Burrow in the video, and I
Yes.
actually did a bunch of just like super rough, fun sketches, but I actually drew a diagram of his leg and his knee and the bones in his knee and the ligaments to show how many, because his rookie season, he literally tore everything in his knee.
Yes.
It was like ACL, PCL, MCL, meniscus. So if I was to draw something that had to do with injuries, because I do, so many things, fun things happen in the NFL. Like I did a little rough sketch of Jamar Chase spitting. I absolutely hated that he did that. But and I didn't want to show a picture of him spitting.
Yes.
So I did a funny drawing of it. So yeah, depending on what it is and what happened, I might do something to either make fun of it or make light of it or just have fun with it. But I would never do like a fully polished, like
Yes.
finished piece
Injury.
of somebody getting hurt.
So you're more into the comic concept than the injury concept.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of a blending.
Yes.
It's a cartoonish style, but I also love to, like you mentioned, action and catching the moment and feeling
Yes.
the energy of it. And then I also really into details. So, I like getting into the details of the helmets and the face masks and the padding and all of the different wristbands, whatever it is that's unique to that player. I love just diving in on those things and, getting into
Or the
all.
shoes. Yeah, I
Yep.
love the shoes that they wear sometimes.
Yep.
They're so different and nice. So are you ready to share some of your art?
Yeah, I was trying. The reason why I've got all of the files together that I actually post on, well, not post, but that I
Yes.
use for my shirts and my stickers, but it's all PNG, so there's no background, but I can show it. You might not be able to see
Okay.
all of the details, but I can show it. I need to share here.
Yeah, just couple
Need
stuff.
to hit this button, maybe. I think this is the share button.
This work in
Share
galleries
screen.
and difficult.
Share screen.
I think so, yeah.
Window. Share.
Woohoo! Let's go!
Whoa.
Look at that.
There's Bijan. That's the ankle breaker. He's, you get the little turf line up here. You might not be able to see it by his foot.
I love this.
Yeah, he's doing one of his cuts. He always does. It's Chris Olave. This is one of my favorite, actually. I don't know why, but this is one of my favorite. I love how his helmet came out.
Yeah.
And I just love his pose. He's catching a ball there. This is CJ Stroud. This is when
I love your signature, Jamie.
thank
J
you.
with two eyes. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
Yeah, this is a play. This was actually last season. The first game of last season, CJ Stroud played Anthony Richardson, and it was a great game.
Yes.
And CJ Stroud had this play where he fell on the ground and he threw the ball and it still complete. It was really cool.
Yeah.
By the way, I usually do videos around most of these pieces, which you can, dive a little bit deeper into what actually happened. This is Cortland Sutton. This was a crazy catch. This was a throw from Russell Wilson.
I can see the foot.
Yeah, it was. His toe could not have been closer. That was an awesome play. It was a great play by Russell Wilson too. Derrick Henry in the Oilers throwback. I love the Oilers throwback. I love the Oilers throwbacks. Devontae Adams when he was with the Raiders catching a touchdown. Devon Achane, one of my favorites.
Love the fire on the foot.
Yes, it's one of my favorites. DJ Moore and his Bears. That was the year he went off with Justin Fields.
Did you catch anything with just the one hand? This drives me insane. Every single time someone catches with one, like this is crazy.
Yeah, this was a really cool. I did a rookie series this summer coming into this season, and this was an Emeka Egbuka. At the time, he hadn't played for the Bucks. This was like a crazy play he made at Ohio State. where the DB like literally like yanked his arm down as
Like
he was
how?
catching with the other hand, and they were running in full stride. So it kind of like hit him somewhere in here, and somehow he caught it. It was crazy. So you can
Yeah, like how can you do it in one hand? Like one hand.
it's crazy.
That's amazing to me.
Garrett Wilson, this was a ridiculous
Oh,
catch.
wow.
This was a this is the tip. So he literally like defends the ball from the from the DB. He hits the ball with which is what he's doing right now. But after this, they both fall to the ground and he catches it. That was a crazy play. Garrett Wilson and Puka Nacua have the absolute best catches over the last few years.
Yes,
Period. Hands down.
hands down to that. I love it.
Um,
That's beautiful, Jamie.
got a
Oh,
little
wow.
there. Oh,
My,
Jalen Hurts. Oh, I gotta change his jersey to 0. He's wearing 0 now. I probably do.
really? Why he changed it?
Jameer Gibbs. I don't know. He's been 0 this year. Last year he was 26. I'll probably do a video this week where I'll just
Crazy.
paint over and changes because I need to talk about his up and down nature this year in fantasy football. Jalen Hurts. This is one of my favorites.
Oh.
JSN. When he dunked on the goalpost this year. That's one of my new ones. Jaden Daniels. This was a beautiful play. This was the bomb to the corner. That was awesome. Then I did him in the black uni too.
And
Yeah,
people can buy this stuff, right? They can buy this stuff.
Yes, all of this stuff is on my website right now in t-shirt form. I'm in a little bit of transition right now. I'm transitioning from using an outside service for my
Okay,
t-shirts. I've purchased all of the things that I need to create my t-shirts in-house, which I'm super excited about.
nice.
So I'm making my own shirts. That's
Love it.
Jonathan Taylor.
We need to maximize that so you can when you finish with this, we can show it back again. Wow. That's so beautiful. It's really beautiful, Jamie. Thank you so much for sharing that. I hope we made Janie happy. So show us the t-shirt that you're wearing. We couldn't see it really well. That's just such a beautiful t-shirt. That's the one that you just saw at the end.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
Jonathan
that's
Taylor.
so cool.
Sending him to another dimension.
That's so cool. I love that.
Thank you.
Tell me, Jamie, how did the idea of Just Balling with Jay came together in 2023?
So like I said, I had been trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my art.
Yes.
I follow a lot of really cool artists on Instagram, and this one guy in particular, his name is, well, he doesn't have his name on his Instagram. Excuse me. It's Pixel NFL. And
Oh, okay.
he is the artist who did all of the graphics for, there's a mobile version of Tecmo Bowl. It's not Tecmo Bowl, it's called Retro Bowl. But anyway, Tecmo Bowl is one of my favorite video games from back in the day. It was one of the best football games ever made, period. So anyway, he did this mobile version of the game. So I found him through the game, started following him on Instagram. Well, he was doing pixel art of things that were happening in NFL games.
Wow.
And he had a store and he was selling the shirts. And I was like, oh my God, I was in love. And I was buying his shirts and I was messaging him and I was like, hey man, I was like, you got a Jamar Chase? And he was like, nah, I don't have that yet. And he was like, I gotta do that. But then he would never do it, which is fine. He's doing whatever he's doing. But it kind of, at some point, it clicked in my head. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I could do this myself.
Yes.
So that kind of like, that was it. That was the spark. It was like, let me see what I can do. And I kind of had an idea and I wanted it to kind of take because up until that point, most of my stuff was pretty realistic style art, but I wanted to, kind of pull from what he was doing and kind of combine it with what I was doing and create this new cartoonish style. And that's what was born, and it just clicked, and I was like, oh my god, this is it. This is what I want to do. That was
Love
it.
it. Oh my
Like
God.
Pixel NFL, his stuff is awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure if when I was talking to you, he followed me or something. I need to check that because I saw something Pixel something followed me. So I need to check that too. What's the most requested type of NFL art from your followers?
um I don't have one particular, but what has been interesting is,
Yeah.
so I guess my first big goal is to basically do a drawing from all 32 teams. And what I found last year I did my first in-person show where I was like, oh, this is my stuff. And I had people coming up, and people were like, oh, what's this? But what I learned was very fast that everybody has their own favorite team.
Yes.
And
I agree.
when when they come up, it's almost like it doesn't even matter who you have. They're just like, you got some Chiefs? you know? Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, okay. I gotta get every. So that's my first goal, is to have something from all 32 teams. And like I said, this is my third season. It's been a pretty long process. I'm on my last 8 teams right now.
Nice. I love that. So, Joey Wright was my guest last week, and he's saying this guest, this week's guest, is much more handsome than that guy last week. Joey, you're handsome too, my
No way.
friend. You're
No
handsome
way.
too, my friend. Both of you are. Both of you are.
Thank you, though. I'll take that.
Greg is asking, are you going to have a booth at the expo this year as well?
Absolutely.
Let's go. Absolutely. So if you cannot buy the t-shirt online, you can find it at the expo.
And
That's
hit
going to
me
be
up.
really awesome.
And hit me
Yes,
up
that's
before the
going to be
expo,
awesome.
because if there's a shirt that you want to be wearing at the expo, just hit me up. Like, I literally have the capacity now to knock these things out in a week and send them to you wherever you are
I
in the
love
world.
it.
So I'm super excited, and it's a high quality. It's a higher quality than I could even do online. So
I
yeah,
love that. I love that. I love it, Jamie. So we're gonna talk about where they can find you and everything in a few. So tell me a little bit, how do you measure your success for just balling with Jay beyond likes and share? We all know that a lot of people don't follow your work or the likes on we don't have a great following, but how do you measure that success even though that you don't have a lot of likes or a lot of shares on social media?
yeah. I would say that I guess it's kind of two parts. One part is, yes, there is an ultimate goal to be successful on social media and
Yeah.
to make a career out of it. But the other part is that finding your voice and figuring out who you are and what you love. That's something that it can't be measured by, likes or followers. And you of
Agreed.
course want to, hopefully through your hard work and growth and figuring out, you want to reach other people who are like you, and that's great. But just balling is really special for me because literally, I'm not exaggerating, I've literally spent the last 20 years trying to figure out what I want to do with my art. And
Yes.
so, you know, getting that spark was like, oh my God, this is it. And then, creating a style for my work. I just pretty much did whatever I felt up until this point. But creating a library of my work, there's a huge reward in that by itself.
by
And I'm
itself.
not
I agree.
I'm not being corny
No,
or
no, no. I agree
exaggerating.
100%.
Yeah, it's a very special thing. So I'm proud of what I'm creating, and that's big because it's easy to make things that you don't like, you know, that's
Yes,
easy. Um, so yes, there's a piece to social media which I know I'm at least self-aware enough to know that I have to get better at creating, more content. And
yes.
that is something that I'm working towards, but I'm absolutely proud of what I'm doing and I love doing it. And
I love
there's a
it.
there's a serious reward in that.
I can't agree more with that. I agree with you 100%. Not everything matters on social media. It's the word that goes out about your art, about your work that matters as well. What's a memorable fan reaction that made you feel your work mattered?
Well, that's directly connected to what we were just talking about, actually.
Yes,
I mean, that's the other piece. Like, it's nice, it's great to be doing something that you love doing, but going to the expo and finally connecting with people who saw the work and immediately were like, "Oh man,
yes,
that's cool." Just that reaction finally, that validation. Oh, you guys get what I'm trying to like, you get what I'm trying
yes.
to do. You get it. That piece is very special because, it's just important to know that, oh, I'm not just off on this island by myself in this imaginary world that seems really cool. No, there's people who get it and that actually like it. And that is like a really good feeling.
I love that. How do you think visual art can change the way people remember sports history?
Well, I think remembering is just important, period. And there's a lot of ways to remember. And for people like me, there's some people who are just extremely gifted with facts, and they have photographic memory. They can tell you what a person did 20 years ago in week 15. And there's a lot of people who remember and who go through history that way through trivia. But for people like me who love imagery, who are visual people, who like to see things and feel it that way, I think the art can reach you in that special way that, if that's how you deal with reality and remember things, hopefully that can help you see it and go, oh man, I remember that play. And just
Yes,
that's what it's all about. Like, we're
I
gonna
love
forget
that.
we're gonna forget everything, and then we're gonna see something and, oh yeah, that was awesome. So hopefully that's what it does.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. What's one misconception people have about being a professional illustrator that you want to put it on out there and tell them no, it's not?
um I think people just don't of course, like everything else, people just don't understand how difficult it is. Like me
Yes.
personally, like I love comic books and all that good stuff, but that stuff is no joke. It's not for everybody, you know?
No.
It's serious.
Tell me, what's a dream brand or athlete you would love to collaborate with?
Ooh. Um, I'd love to collaborate with any, well, not any, but I'd love to collaborate with a lot of NFL players.
Yes.
And I do hope that in the near future I can start collaborating with some teams because I mean there's so many cool things you can do now on social media, and there's so many like really cool social media teams on the teams that are doing cool stuff. I hope I can hook up with with some teams in the near future. That'd
I
be great.
hope so. Like looking at your work, it's really beautiful. I'm gonna be nice for a little bit, and then I'm gonna be naughty. So I love your work, and I really hope that someone is seeing that so they can start collaborating with you, because you you should be given credit for your creativity, and it's really amazing to have a partnership with someone with the NFL. It's gonna be awesome. Maybe you need to start like sending emails or something like that, showing your work to people at the NFL, and maybe you never know, maybe they
Yeah,
can, like you can hit a spot at some point.
absolutely.
So I have a lot of questions still for you, Jamie, but we're over an hour. Um i i want to ask you a couple more questions before we stop, because I do have like 120
I'll try to
one
answer.
121 something questions. But I want to know, what's the next big project you're most excited about right now?
Um, okay. Well, like I said, the eight teams that I need to finish, I would like
Yes.
to finish this year. That's my big goal. Short term, I'm gonna I'm either next week I'm gonna do either George Pickens
Okay.
or um why am I going blank? Cleveland Browns defensive end. Why am I going completely blank? Um Somebody help me in the comments. Why is his name just completely left my head? The sack
Someone
leader.
from the Chiefs, maybe, or no
No,
Chiefs.
Cleveland Browns defensive end, the sack leader this year. Um,
I cannot help you with that. Sorry.
goodness gracious.
Maybe Greg can. We will see. We will see. We will go back
Question.
to that when they see it. Where do you see just balling with Jay in 5 years from now?
Hmm. Well, hopefully everything's a lot more streamlined. And I really have honed in on the way I sell my art, whether it be t-shirt print, um, collector's cards. Hopefully, I'll be really well honed in on that. Hopefully, like you said, I'll be connected with more teams and personnel. Miles Garrett, my God, I'm so sorry, Mister Garrett. Goodness gracious, thank you. um, yeah, hopefully I'll be connected and be doing some really cool things, and probably even a bigger goal than that is just hopefully I will have opened up in my process and just become a little bit more fluid and a little more open with myself.
I love that. And I make people forget, so you can blame me.
You're doing great.
That's why.
I feel like I'm talking to my best friend. So
I love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. That's such an honor, Jamie. You should know that. Um, how can fans get involved in your upcoming projects or community events?
yeah, I mean, social media is the easiest way, but usually once you contact me through social media, I'll get to know you. You can text me directly. But
Yes.
I live for feedback. I live for it. I answer anytime anybody
Yes.
says anything to me on any of my platforms. I am going to speak to you and have something to say. So I love it, man. Whatever it is, whether it's about the art or the football, um, I'm easy. I'm ready.
I love that. I want to ask one more question before I go naughty at this point. What's one thing you want people to remember from tonight's conversation?
Ah, dang. Hopefully, I was entertaining in some sort
You
of way.
you
Hopefully,
are. Are you kidding? Yes.
hopefully,
You're awesome. You're
I'm working
awesome. Seriously.
on that.
So going from this to that right now, Jamie, which we came to the end of our episode, but I really need to be naughty at this point and ask you that question that I ask everybody at the end of my episode.
Okay.
So, what's one thing you did maybe at a young age or a secret that you never spoke of before that you want to share tonight on the episode of the Game Changers?
Oh man, a secret that I never talked about. Um, okay, the first thing that's coming to mind, and I don't know, this isn't a huge secret. I don't know why this came to mind, but anyway, when I was in probably around the sixth grade, we lived on a cul-de-sac, which is really nice neighborhood vibe. I had two friends, and we did everything together. And one day, we had a lot of plum trees in the neighborhood,
Yes.
so we would I don't know, we wouldn't do this we just did this one day. We collected all these plums, and there's a main street that goes past our cul-de-sac, cars flying by all day, and we went out and we threw plums at the cars going by. I don't know why. I promise I am not a miscreant. I stay far away from from bad things. And we throwing plums and hiding behind the car. Well, we hit this guy on a motorcycle, and he stopped. He turned around and came back, and we were hiding in the bushes, scared to death, as he drove around the cul-de-sac looking for us. Um,
Oh my God, Jamie. Oh my God. It takes one bad apple. One bad apple. It took some plums from you. I love that. I
they were
love this
little. They were
story.
little plums. They weren't big, like like grocery store plums. They were like they're
So
like that.
now if that guy is listening to you and hearing you, we're gonna say, we're sorry, man.
Whoever you are.
We did that. We were hiding, but we did that.
Yep.
I love being a child. Sometimes, you're mischief, and I love being a child. It's this is what we need to do, not just sit home and just play games.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was part of how we were raised, all of us. We did something at some
Yep.
point, and I love this story. Thank you for sharing that with us tonight. Before I wrap up, Jamie, can you tell everyone the best way to connect with you online and where they can follow your work and everything that you want to share with us tonight about your work?
Yes. So I am on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Not really on Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. So on all of them, it's just Ballin with J, and it's Balln. You couldn't find it because you were probably trying to spell it correctly, but it's Balln. The only one where it's different is on my Instagram. Is just balling WJ. I don't know why I did that. That was dumb. Um, but yes, on all of those platforms, hit me up, and I will definitely get back with you.
I love that. I love that so much. I cannot thank you enough, all of you, for joining me of this episode of the Game Changers. If today's conversation gave you a fresh perspective on fantasy football or the game of life, do me a favor, drop a comment with your biggest takeaway and maybe a question for Jamie. I read them all. A big thank you to DC behind the scene and for his magic and the powerhouse of the TSA team for making this platform possible. If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a review, and follow us on social media. Check out the show notes and leave me a comment. Maybe I'll be a naughty person at some point. I don't know. I'll be taking 2 weeks off to recharge and celebrate the season, but I cannot wait to see you back in January when I return with the amazing Charlene Erickson on the Game Changers. I wish you joy, peace, and a wonderful start of the new year. Until next time, keep challenging the game and making your mark. This is Carla with Jamie signing off for the last time of the Game Changers of this New Year 2025. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great night.